Okay, let me also open my Paint window. Okay, so so far we've seen about routing, switching, VLAN, and all that. Yes. So today we are going to see about ACL. Yes. So we're going to see about ACL. ACL is access control list. Okay. So ACL is access control list. ACL. So this ACL is basically a configuration done in router. Okay. So it is a configuration done in router. Okay. So what type of configuration is this? Why do we go for ACL, or what basically is this configuration? So let me explain you that. So talking about ACL, access control list. So in your router, there is something called traffic that goes out and comes in. Yes, there is a traffic that keeps going out and coming in. So ACL is used for controlling this traffic. Okay, ACL is used for controlling this traffic, as in which traffic has to go out or which traffic has to come in. So ACL does that. Okay, so it is used to control your incoming traffic and outgoing traffic. So we'll call that as incoming traffic and outgoing traffic. So this is ACL. And how does it going to control it? So it is going to do two things. It is going to do two things. One is it is either going to permit or it is going to deny. So how is it going to control? It is going to do two things. Either it is going to permit the traffic to go out or come in, or it is going to deny the traffic, incoming or outgoing traffic. Okay, so this is with ACL, and in ACL there are two types of ACL. Yes, in ACL there are two types of ACL, just like how we saw in routing. There were two types of routing. So in ACL we have two types of ACL. One is standard ACL and another one is extended ACL. Standard ACL and extended ACL. So these are the two types of ACL, and let's see the difference between these two. Yes, so standard ACL is actually old and it is not used now. Extended ACL is new. This is new and it is currently used. Currently used. And this standard ACL can be configured for a smaller network only. The standard ACL can be configured for a smaller network, wherein extended ACL can be configured for a larger network. A larger network. And there is a number range for standard ACL. Yes, to identify that it is standard ACL, there is a number range. That number range is from 0 to 99. And for extended ACL also there is a number range, and that number range is from 100 to 199. Okay, so this is the number range for standard and extended ACL. And this standard ACL, now all both standard and extended ACL, we are going to configure it in a router only. So now where to configure standard and where to configure extended? So standard ACL is actually configured close to destination, and extended ACL is configured close to source. So I'll tell you what source and what destination is. Okay. So it is configured close to destination and extended ACL is configured close to source. And another important thing to remember is standard ACL will permit or deny based on source IP address, whereas extended ACL will permit or deny based on it is going to consider source IP, it is going to consider a destination IP, and it is going to consider the port number, and the protocol. So it is going to consider so many things. Okay, so these are the major differences between standard and extended ACL. I know this is very new and quite complex, but I'll explain you in general terms. Yes. So the first 3 points you have to remember. This is old and this is new. This is for smaller and this is for larger network. And there is a number range for standard ACL that is 0 to 99, and for extended ACL it is 100 to 199. Okay. So now I'll tell you what this last 2 points are. Now let's take this example. I'll take one router here, another router here, and a computer, Okay. So now let's say, for example, let's connect these two routers. Okay. And say this is 1.2, this is 1.1, this is 2.1, this is 2.2, 3.1, and this is 3.2. Okay. Now, for example, let's consider that this is our computer. Okay, we are here, which means we are the source. We are the source and we are here. And this, we call it our LAN. This we call it our LAN. So say consider that we are here, and so we are the source and this is entirely our LAN. Okay. Now look at standard ACL. In standard ACL, say now this is the destination. If this is the stores, this is the destination. Standard ACL configuration is done close to destination, which means our destination is here. Obviously, ACL is a configuration that has to be done in a router, and a destination which is close to, interface which is close to a destination is nothing but this. Correct? An interface that is very close to destination is this interface, which is the 1.1 interface. Yes. So obviously the standard ACL will be configured here. Okay. So standard ACL is configured close to destination. Now, if it is in your own organization, then it is actually easy because you can go configure the configuration in another router that is near to destination. But to remember extended ACL, because we are going to see about extended ACL only. So to remember extended ACL, say you are here. Okay, this is our source, and let's consider this is a mall, maybe the Brookfields Mall. Yes, this is Brookfields Mall, and this is you. Now you are planning to go to this mall. Okay, but your father don't want you to go. So in case if your father wants to stop you, he has to stop you in your gate, in your home gate. Yes, he cannot go to Brookfield's security and he cannot say, see Brookfields, my son will be coming, please do not let him in. You cannot go tell to the Brookfield security. You have to stop your son in your gate. So that is extended ACL. So you are actually controlling the traffic in your land. Okay, so that is extended ACL. Whereas standard ACL is where your father will go and tell the security not to allow you. So it is like this can happen in only in smaller organizations when a router is in the same place. When all the routers are in the same place, then you can go with standard ACL. Whereas extended ACL, it is something like a router which is not in the same place. It is in different places. Okay, and since standard ACL is not currently used, we are not going to see about the configuration of standard ACL. We are going to see only about extended ACL. Okay, and for extended ACL, another one good diagram or the to do for which you will follow today. Listen carefully. You're going to have a router, a computer, and a switch, and you are going to connect this computer to something called server. Okay, and let's consider this is the FB server. Let's consider this is the Facebook server. Yes, and we will also configure IPs. So for this computer, you can have IP as 192.168.1.1. I mean 1.10. We'll have this as 1.1, and this for this we'll have it as 10.0.0.1, and for this server IP we'll have 10.0.0.2. Okay, this is how we are going to have IPs. Okay, and this is for extended ACL. extended ACL. Okay, so this is the diagram which you're going to take. This is the diagram which you're going to take. Now, what we are going to do is, first thing first, you have to configure this in Packet Tracer. And after configuration, that is, you have to take all these switch, routers, computers, and server. You have to connect all this, and you have to assign IP to all these. Once that is done, once you've assigned IP to all this, what you have to do is you have to verify. Once the connection is done, you have to verify whether the connection is correct. So for that, what you're going to do is from 1.2 computer, sorry, this is 1.10. From 1.10 computer, you have to ping ping 10.0.0.2. You have to ping this server from this computer. You have to ping this server. If you get a reply, then the connection is correct. And the second thing which you should do is you have to go to the browser from this computer and type 10.0.0.2. Okay, and in case if you get a page that displays some message, maybe it normally displays a Cisco page. If it displays the Cisco page, then yes, again the connection which you've done is correct. So both these things have to work, A and B. Okay, so this is what you will verify. After that what you're going to do is you're going to configure extended ACL. You will configure extended ACL, and after configuring extended ACL, you will again verify from 1.10 computer. You will ping, and you will also check from the browser. Now what our objective is in this particular to do, what our objective is, in case when someone from this computer, maybe you are here, and from this computer, if you try pinging this server, you have to get a reply. Okay, when you try pinging this server, you have to get a reply. But when you open the browser and when you type connect, type this server's IP, and when you try connecting this server, the page should not display. Okay, so our objective is when you try pinging this server, it has to get a reply, but through browser you shouldn't be able to connect. That is, when you try pinging facebook.com in command prompt, it will give you a reply, but when you go to a browser and type www.facebook.com, it is not going to give you a reply. Okay, so this is going to be our objective, which means there are two things. So there are two protocols which will come here. So this ping comes under a protocol called ICMP. Okay, and obviously the browser where you are going to go search for this IP, this will come under the protocol called TCP. So we are going to permit ICMP and we are going to deny TCP. That is, when someone tries to ping this particular server, we are going to permit, and when someone is going to access this server through TCP, we are going to deny. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. Now for that we have certain commands. For that we have to take certain commands. Let's go to extended ACL command. Okay, before that there is another one thing which you have to remember. Okay, there is something called wildcard mask. Okay, there is something called, let me close my chat box. Okay, so there is something called wildcard mask. Now you all know that wildcard mask is nothing but inverse of subnet mask. Yes, but in ACL wildcard mask is, say, in case if it is a single network, if it is an or it is an entire network. Now say for example it is 192.168.1.0. This is an entire network. We know this is a network ID. If this is the case, the wildcard mask is going to be 0.0.0.255. If it is 192.168.1.2, maybe a single computer, then it's going to be 0.0.0.0. Okay, so if it is going to be an entire network, it is 0.0.0.255, and if it is going to be a single computer or a single host, then it is going to be 0.0.0.0. You have to remember this. Okay, you have to just remember for all other configurations which we have seen earlier, wildcard mask is obviously the inverse of subnet mask. But for ACL alone, the wildcard mask changes, and for entire network, if it is going to be your network ID, then it is 0.0.0.255, and if it is going to be a single computer, then it is going to be 0.0.0.0. I'll tell you where to use this. Okay, we'll see where we have to use this extended ACL, I mean this wildcard mask in extended ACL. Okay, so now we'll take the commands. So for extended ACL, the command is very simple. It is just a 3-line command. Okay, so let me paste it here. Okay, so now this is the command for extended ACL, and where you are going to write extended ACL, you're going to write it in this particular router. Okay, so we are going to write extended ACL because extended ACL is configured close to source. So it is configured close to source, and so we are going to write extended ACL here in this interface. Yes. So now see here how to write extended ACL. Now, normally you have to log into your router and you have to go to configuration mode. So once you go to configuration mode, these are the 3 steps which you have to do. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. First step, it is actually it looks something big, but it is very easy. So I'll tell you how to write this command. So first you have to write access list, access hyphen list, and then it is asking for a number. Now the number for extended ACL number range is from 100 to 199. So you can give any number from this number range. Say now let's take 110. So 110 as our access list number. Okay, and first what we will do is we will deny, and then we will go with permitting. Okay, so first what we have to deny is we have to deny the TCP protocol, right? So we'll take this has to be denied and this has to be permitted. ICMP we should permit, and TCP we have to deny. So I'll type a deny. I'm first going to deny, and then it is asking me which protocol I'm going to deny. So I'll write TCP, and then it is asking for the source IP. So the source IP is 1.10. So I'll write 192.168.1.10. Okay, and then after source IP, see it is asking for a wildcard mask. Now this is a single computer's IP. So since this is a single computer's IP, we are going to take wildcard mask as 0.0.0.0. Okay, so source IP and source wildcard mask. And then it is asking for destination IP. Destination is here. So destination IP is 10.0.0.2. And for destination IP, you have to give wildcard mask. And since this is a single host, we are going to give wildcard mask as 0.0.0.0. Okay, and then it is asking for an operator. So we have 2 operators. One is EQ and another one is NEQ. EQ means equal to, NEQ means not equal to. So now we are going to give equal to here, and we are going to give the port number. We all know the port number for TCP is 80. So the port number has to be equal to 80. Okay, so now what we have done is we have denied the TCP packet which is going to go out from our computer. Okay, so it is access list. 110 is the number range, any number from extended ACL range, and we are going to deny the protocol TCP. We have given the source IP and the wildcard mask for source IP, and the destination IP and the wildcard mask for destination IP, and the operator equal to, and the protocol 80. I mean the port number 80, and then we have denied. Now permitting is very easy. Now permitting, it is like a ping command can work. It is not going to harm or it is not going to bring you any issues. So for permitting, the command is very simple. It is just that access list, access hyphen list, and again give the number 110, and we are going to permit, and we are going to permit ICMP protocol, and you don't have to give source IP, destination IP, and all that. Just you will give any, which means from this network any computer can ping 10.0.0.2, and obviously they're going to get a reply. So you don't have to specifically type, source IP, destination IP, operator, and all that. No, just give any so that it is going to allow everyone. Okay. So what we have done is we have denied TCP and we have permitted ICMP. So now we have created two access lists, that is one for denying and one for permitting. Okay. Now you have to apply this access list. Yes, we have just created it in a router. You have to apply this to this interface. Yes, because this is the interface that is close to source. This is the interface one. Maybe if this interface is fast ethernet 0/0, then this is the interface that is close to source. You have to apply this particular AC access list command to this interface. Yes, so for that what you will do is you have to choose the interface. So it is interface fast ethernet 0/0. So it is 0/0, and then you're going to give IP space access hyphen group, and the number is 110, and you have to give in or out. Okay, I'll tell you what is in or out. So it is IP access hyphen group, and you have to give the number, and then you have to give in or out. Now what is in or out? In is the incoming traffic and out is the outgoing traffic. Okay, so we have to set whether this has to be done for incoming traffic or outgoing traffic. That is, when something goes out of your computer, from out of your LAN, it is outgoing traffic. When something comes inside your LAN, that is incoming traffic. So you have to set whether it has to be for incoming or it has to be for outgoing. You can set any one. Either you can give in or either you can give out. Okay, so once this configuration is done, once the ACL configuration is done, now you have to go to this computer and you have to try pinging this server. So when you ping the server, it is going to give you a reply. Yes, and when you try connecting the server from browser, it is not going to give you a reply. That is what we are going to see now. I'll show you this entire configuration in Packet Tracer, as in how you have to work on Packet Tracer, so that you'll get a clear idea. But with extended ACL, you have to know certain things. You have to remember certain things. That is the number range of extended ACL. Okay, and in extended ACL, it is going to consider the source IP, destination IP, the protocol, and the port number. Yes, so that you have to remember. And another one is the wildcard mask. So wildcard mask, if it is for entire network, it is 0.0.0.255, and if it is a single computer, then it is going to be 0.0.0.0. These are the common things which you have to remember. Okay, and in is incoming network, incoming traffic, and out is outgoing traffic. So it is up to you to set whether it has to block incoming itself or it has to block the outgoing traffic. Okay, so this is with ACL configuration, and this is the particular to do which you're going to do in Packet Tracer, and I'm going to show you how you can do that in your Packet Tracer. So 1 minute. This is Alt H. Where is my Packet Tracer? Okay, my Packet Tracer is here. Okay, so see here, I already have the setup here. So in Packet Tracer, we have a router, a switch, computer, and a server. Okay, let's also, I'll just show you one more. We'll just try connecting this so that I'll tell you how to establish connection. So first, what you should do is you have to take a router. So I've taken this 2621 series from your Packet Tracer. Yes, so I've taken a router, and then you need a switch. So let's take a switch, and let's take a computer. Okay, and after that, in your end devices where you choose your computer, see the third option, the third tool, it is the server. So you have to click the server, and you have Okay. Is my voice audible now? Yes. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me share my screen again. Okay. So you are able to see my screen? Great. Okay. So we have a router, we have a switch, a computer, and a server. Yes. Now, once we have all this, or what we have to do is we have to connect all these devices. So let me connect the router and the server first. To connect a router and a server, you have to go with copper crossover cable. Okay, a cable which looks something like this. Okay, so you have to choose this cable, click on the router. It is going to ask you in which interface. So let's take either 0/0 or 0/1. I'll take 0/1, and you have to connect it to the server fast ethernet. Okay, and then we have to connect this router switch and all that. So to connect router switch, we'll go with copper straight through. So I'll choose fast ethernet 0/0 and fast ethernet 0/1. And then I will take another straight through cable and I will connect the switch with the computer. Yes. So now we have established the connection. I mean, like we have connected all the devices using the cables. So now once this is done, what you have to do is you have to assign IP. Yes, you have to assign IP for computer, for this interface, and for the server. So let's do that. So now in this computer, go to desktop and assign IP. So we'll assign 192.168.1. Let's have it as 10. Okay. And we'll have subnet mask and we'll assign 192.168.1.1 as default gateway. 192.168.1.1. Okay. And now we have to assign IP for the router interfaces. So in router interface, this is fast ethernet 0/0 and this is fast ethernet 0/1. So for fast ethernet 0/0, let's assign. So this is fast ethernet 0/0. So we have to assign 192.168.1.1 subnet mask and make the port on. Okay, make the port on, and then you will go to 0/1. For 0/1, it is going to be 10.0.0.1 and subnet mask, and you have to turn the port on. Okay, so we have given the IP. We have given 1.1 for this interface and 10.0.0.1 for this interface. Now we have to assign IP for the Facebook server. I mean the server. So to assign the IP for server, double click the server, go to desktop, you have IP configuration, and in this you're going to give 10.0.0.2 and the subnet mask, and the default gateway for this particular server is 10.0.0.1. So for this server 10.0.0.2, the default gateway is going to be 10.0.0.1 only. So you have to give the default gateway also. Now we have created a scenario like this. We have connected and we have assigned IP to all these devices. Now what you have to do is you have to verify. So from this computer, let's go to command prompt and let's try pinging 10.0.0.2 and click on enter. So you are getting a reply. It is okay if you get request timed out for one packet, no issues, but you are getting a reply. So, I mean, I am getting a reply. So we get a reply. Now, the second verification which you have to do is you have to close the command prompt, go to something called web browser. In your desktop, there is web browser. So go to web browser and type 10.0.0.2 and click go. So see, you get the Cisco packet tracer page. Okay. Now the connection which we have done is correct. Now what we are going to do is we are going to configure ACL. Once ACL configuration is done, once it is done, we are going to again do the same process. So when I try pinging 10.0.0.2, it is going to give a reply, but when I come to browser, when I type 10.0.0.2, it is not going to give us a reply. Okay, so let's do the ACL configuration. So ACL configuration has to be done in this router. So we'll open this router and we'll go to command line. Let me enlarge it. Okay, so now in command line, we are going to type in the ACL commands, which actually we wrote here. These commands, access list, and all that. Okay, so where is my packet tracer? It is here, and this, it is here. Okay, so first let's create access list, access hyphen list, and the number is 110, and we are going to deny. Okay, and we are going to deny TCP first, TCP, and we are going to write the source IP address. So source IP address of my computer is 192.168.1.10, and the wildcard mask 0.0.0.0, and then the destination IP is 10.0.0.2, and the wildcard mask is 0.0.0.0, and then you have to write equal to operator and give 80 and hit enter. Okay, so okay, 1 minute. I'll just type the same. Oh, I'll just give exit and I'll come back because it is typed in interface mode. Okay, so it is conf space T. So once you're in your configuration mode, you have to type this command, not after choosing interface. So it's conf T. So let's type it again. Access hyphen list. It is 110 and it is 192.168.1.10 and it is 0.0.0.0 and it is 10.0.0.2 and it is 0.0.0.0 and you have to type equal to 80. Hit enter. Okay. Okay, because the command we have done it already. Okay, so let's type the next command. So the next command, it is showing error because I've actually typed the command earlier. We typed the command earlier and it is taken in. So we'll type the next command, access hyphen list, and we are going to deny. So I mean, we are going to permit. So it is access hyphen list 110 and 110, and we will permit, and we are going to permit ICMP, and it is any. Okay, so now we have permitted the ICMP packet as well. Yes. Now, once you're done this, what you have to do is we have created ACL. We have created ACL in this router, but we have to assign this ACL to this particular interface, that is fast Ethernet 0/0. Yes. So we're going to assign this interface. This cable is gone. Fast Ethernet 0/0 and 1. Okay. So we'll open the command line again and we'll choose the interface. It is interface fast Ethernet 0/0 and hit on enter, and we are going to type IP access hyphen group 110 and we are going to type the incoming traffic. Okay, so what we have done is we have written all these 4 lines: access list, interface, and IP access group. We've written this 4 line in this router. That's it. Okay, everything should be written in configure terminal mode. Okay, so we've written this in configure terminal mode. Now what we will do is we will try pinging from this computer. Okay, from this computer, let's try pinging to this server. So I'll take this diagram. So from this computer, let's go to command prompt and let's try pinging 10.0.0.2. So when I try pinging 10.0.0.2, it is giving me the reply. We are getting the reply. Now from the same computer, I'll go to web browser and I'll type 10.0.0.2 0.2 and click go. It is going to show me request timed out. Okay, so when you try pinging to this server, it is going to give you a reply. But when you try accessing this server through HTTP, then it is going to stop you. It is not going to, you know, allow you, or it is not going to display anything for you. Okay, so this is the configuration which you are going to do today, that extended ACL. 1 minute, let me Zoom chat. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Yes, the concept is clear. You all understood it? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. So follow the same steps. It will be a little confusing when you see it for the first time, because this wildcard mask, permitting and denying, and the number range, and some a big command, something like this. So it is definitely going to confuse you in the first place. But again, when you do it step by step and when you understand the concept, it is going to be easy. The command looks big, but it is all the IP address and the wildcard mask which we are, submitting here. So you can go ahead and you can start working on extended ACL. But before that, uh, Shankar will take over the class, and I'll stop sharing. Stop sharing. And what I'll do is I'll give you the attendance link right now. You can go ahead and you can paste your, submit your attendance and come back so that you can attend Shankar's class. So his next class is going to be NAT. So I'll post the attendance link. Okay, so attendance link for day 7 is in your Skype group. In your Zoom chat. Everyone in the meeting, you can go ahead and you can post your attendance. And also a kind request, guys, attendance link, we are sharing it only in Zoom chat. Please do not take the attendance link and post it in Skype group. Yesterday we found few people posting the attendance link in Skype group. Please do not repeat that. Okay. How that number came out to be 110? Yes, Anshala, it is any number from 100 to 199. You can take any number. I took 110. You can take any number. EQ80 is Ramanan. It is equal to, EQ is equal to, and since TCP port number is 80, we are giving EQ as 80.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Great. Let me share my screen. My entire screen, yes. I don't know what happened with my Zoom. It got crashed. I was doing something else and my Zoom got crashed. I have to log in from a browser and I'm not sure about the options here. Okay. I hope my screen is visible to you guys. Yes, perfect. Okay. A few words on ACL. ACL, what you have seen, this guy here is a network admin of some company called abc.com. Fine. And this company has a router and a switch, and how many computers they have? They have more than 200 computers. They have more than 200 computers, and most of them during free time they're downloading movies or they're accessing facebook.com. As per company's policy, the company is requesting to you, the management is requesting to you to block unwanted sites from the network so that they should not be able to access. So if you want to do something in the router with regards to access or accessing websites, we have to go for ACL. With ACL, you can decide the computers from your network here can communicate to which network, or from which network from outside they can communicate to your network computers. As simple as that, right? So that is why we have made configurations for extended ACL, in, out, destination, source. Right? Your destination can be any website which you don't like and which you don't want your computers to connect. And the same way, when you log into your browser, let me go to my modem here. Okay, do we have something here? No. Okay. Login. So when you log into your modem, I hope we have seen this. When you type your default gateway in your modem, you will get access to your modem. You give your username and password. When you go to advanced, see here, when you go to advanced, you see here ACL tables are used. Now, when you see this word called ACL, you should know this is access control list. And using this, you can control the access of all the computers which is connected to your modem. You have URL block, wherein you can give a keyword and add this keyword. This is like permit and deny, like what you have seen in ACL, right? Enable and disable. So you have a lot of things which you can do with ACL in real time as well, which is going to give you complete access or complete control of your network, right? So having said that, we'll move on to NAT. So what is NAT? NAT is network address translation. It's a very funny concept here. It actually works good with a lot of hiding features like proxy and other things. Network address translation. We have a lot of different types of NAT which we can look into, but as of now, we are going to look only at a simple NAT. I'll tell you what a NAT is. Before seeing NAT, we have to see why we go for NAT. We'll take a common example of google.com, right? So you have google.com server here. Google.com's server is here. This is just for your understanding, to understand how NAT is. Don't find logical flaws in this. Fine. So google.com is here, and I have google.com's IP address to be 18.13.2.1, right? You have this IP address. Now, if you ask me, Google has only one server. No, Google has multiple servers. Yes, based on location. In case you have google.co.uk, you have google.co.us, separate server for different countries. That's how Google works. That is why the search engine is very fast. This is for India. And we have a lot of other servers, but as of now, we'll take this, right? And the IP address of this is 210.1.2.3, and this is 30.4.2.1, and this is like 82.1.1.3, right? And if you ask me, like google.com has only one server for India? No, Google again has multiple servers for India. Yes, it can have multiple servers. This is done for load balancing. I'll tell you what load balancing is. Okay, we'll take, okay, the IP address of this is different, and we have this IP address which is 86.92.1.1, right? We do have an IP address like this, right? And you are sitting here in India. Now, what do? You go to your command prompt and type ping google.com. If you type ping google.com, right? Now, whom you're trying to contact? You're trying to contact google.com, who is a server sitting here. And whenever you type ping.com, what you should probably be getting the IP address of that particular, I'll type ping kct dot, this never gets out of my mind, kct.ac.in, ping.kct.ac.in is the college here. I get the IP address of this. Yes. Likewise, you ping google.com, I'll type ping google.com, and I get the IP address of, I think this is the IP address of google.com, but right, because I'm trying to ping google.com, I'm trying to ping this google.com which is here, and I expect the IP address of google.com in my reply. So in my reply, I expect reply from, what should be the IP address? The IP address should be 18.13.2.1. But my question is, do you get this IP address here? The answer is no. Why? Because google.com, the IP address which might be replying to you is this 86.92.1.1 and not this, right? Why Google is doing this, or why most of the corporates with bigger, large number of servers are doing this? This is done for, one is for security purpose. You can go for security. Second, it is for load balancing. What do you mean by security here? Google.com don't want to reveal their original IP address here, or they don't want to show the main server's IP address which is going to respond. So what they do, they go for multiple servers like this, and they have done a configuration here. Some sort of configuration is being done in Google server, in Google's network architecture, so that if anyone is trying to contact google.com, right, the configuration will work and will come, and this particular server is going to respond. Why this server is responding? Because this is my nearest server. This is my nearest server which is going to respond. If someone from UK tries to ping, then probably this IP address or a server below this will ping this. He might be getting a reply from that particular IP address, right? So one is for security. Security in the sense, Google doesn't want to reveal its own IP address out, its server's IP address out. So it's having like a proxy kind of setup wherein the servers below it are responding it back. Now, in case if I grab this IP address and if I start attacking this IP address, thinking this is Google's IP address, what will happen? Even if I succeed, even if this server is down, the next moment this server will be up. If this is down, this will be up. So if you look at this architecture, it's like a secured architecture where this particular IP address or this main server here, which is controlling all other servers, it's very hard for the attackers to slow it down. Right? So that is for security. Load balancing, yes, in case if Google is getting all the requests, probably the site will slow down, just like your Anna University website or your university website during result time. What will happen at that point of time? That server is going to get a lot of requests and the server will be slowed down. So for not that to happen, we go for load balancing, wherein we split the load based on different servers like this, right? So it's a very simple architecture here. So coming back to the topic here, the configuration which Google, I'm not saying this is what Google has done, a configuration which corporates can do to hide or protect their original IP address can be NAT, network address translation, right? So in network address translation, the concept is this. The configuration is very simple. You don't have to worry about that. We'll go for a packet tracer kind of architecture. I'll explain you this, and later I'll also explain you this, how to configure this in packet tracer, right? So we have, imagining this is your network. This is where you sit, and this is your server here, right? You have your server here, and we'll take the IP address to be this. Okay. I believe you are comfortable with giving IP address and doing basic connections like this. So it is 192.168.1.1, and we'll give a public IP address here 200.1.1.1, and this will be 200.1.1.2, and this we can keep it as 10.0.0.1, and this is 10.0.0.2, right? And this is a remote computer which is somewhere, right? And we have to do static routing here. Please don't ask me what is static routing, how to configure this. We have crossed that. So configure a static routing, fine. So after configuring packet tracer, fine. Second, you have to verify. What you have to verify? You have to verify whether your connection is right or wrong. So from this computer here, this is step number 2. From this computer here, open up command prompt and try to ping 10.0.0.2. If you ping 10.0.0.2, what should be the reply? The reply should be reply from, you will be getting the reply from 10.0.0.2. Means from this computer, you are trying to ping this server. And when you try to ping this server, probably this server is responding you back. So your connection is right, right? Third, we'll configure NAT. And fourth, we'll repeat step 2. We'll repeat step 2 and see what happens, right? So now configuring NAT. When you're configuring NAT, you will have to understand this. We have 2 types of network. One is inside network, the other one is outside network. Inside network will always be your LAN. So this is your inside network where you are here, where you are placed. That LAN is your inside network, and the WAN here is your outside network. This is your outside network. So this is our router here. Yes, when this is your LAN and this will be your router, you will have control of this. And where we have to configure NAT, we will configure NAT in this router. And we will keep it as router A, and this is router B. So where will you configure NAT? NAT configurations have to be done in router B. Right? Now, what type of configurations we need to do? First, understanding inside network and outside network. Now, can anyone tell me this? Router B, please listen to this carefully. Router B is connected to the inside network. Yes, we all know it is connected to the inside network, and it is also connected to the outside network. Can you tell me the interface which router B is connected with the inside network, and the interface which router B is connected with the outside network? I'll repeat this again. I want to know through which interface router B here is connected to the inside network, and through which interface this router B is connected to the outside network. Yes, through the inside network, it is obviously fast Ethernet. It is fast Ethernet. And to the outside network, yes, it is a serial interface. Right? So having said this, I'll show you the configuration, which is very simple. And before going to the configuration, what is our objective? That needs to be discussed. What do you want to do by configuring NAT? What do you want to do? First thing, you don't want anyone to know this IP address. This IP address has to be hidden. Yes, that is point number 1. And if someone is trying to ping 10.0.0.2, the reply should not go from 10.0.0.2. Right? Instead, there should be some other IP address which should respond back. So we'll take this IP address. Fine. So what is our objective? When 192.168.1.2 is trying to ping 10.0.0.2. This is our server here. What should be the reply? The reply should be from not from 10.0.0.2, but instead it should be from 200. Okay, what happened here? It should be from 200 dot, oh my god, 200.1.1.2. Fine. In case if you are able to achieve this, then you have successfully configured NAT in your router. So anyone who tries to ping, this is here for an example. I have given you the actual IP address, but in real time, you will have a domain name. This can be abc.com. So when someone tries to ping abc.com, the reply, it will not be from this. The reply will be actually from this, the IP address what we gave. Fine. I'll summarize this again in simple terms. You have a server here. which is connected to a router. This is your network and this is your server here, and this is connected to internet. So anyone who is trying to ping to your server should not get a reply from your server. Instead, there should be some other IP address which is going to reply them back, so as you are protecting your server's identity and this IP address is not being revealed out. Right? As simple as that. We'll try to do this in Packet Tracer. And what commands do we have? These are the steps which you need to configure NAT. So translation, like very simple commands. You don't have to struggle much. You need to know which is inside network, which is outside network. I told you fast Ethernet is inside, serial is outside. Perfect. And you need to know the actual IP address, and you also need to know what is the converted IP address. What is the converted IP address? The IP which you have to respond, which has to respond. So the actual IP address, as per our diagram, okay, I'll go to Packet Tracer diagram. The same diagram what I have drawn, the actual IP address is 10.0.0.2. Yes. And what is the converted IP address? The converted IP address is this 200.1.1.2. Very simple. Fine. So in this diagram, if I try to ping 10.0.0.2, I'm getting the reply from where? I'm getting the reply from 10.0.0.2. Yes. So now let's configure NAT in which router? In our router here, because this is our server here. So this is our router here. So I'll go to command line, enter, enable conft. Yes. So I've gone for this. Now, after going for this, what is the first step? The first step is to configure this. What is that? I have to type this IP NAT inside source static. What is the actual IP address and what is the converted IP address? So let me type this. I'll type IP NAT inside source static. Oh my God, source static. What is the actual IP address? 10.0.0.2. And what is the converted IP address? Let me confirm this once again. Converted IP address is this 200. The converted IP address is 200.1.1.2. Enter. Right? Now I have to go for the fast Ethernet interface. What interface is this? Is it fast Ethernet 0/0 or? Yes, it is fast Ethernet 0/0. And this serial interface here is serial 0/3/0. Right? So let me go for this. I'll type interface fast Ethernet. Right? Interface fast Ethernet. Interface fast Ethernet 0/0. Right? 0/0 is the interface, and I'll type IP NAT inside. Enter. And IP NAT inside, and now I'll exit. Again, I'll type interface serial. What was that? 0/3/0. 030, and enter. I'll type IP NAT outside. So it is going to convert the IP address from inside to outside. I've done this. I'll close this. Now we'll see if you are getting the output. In case if I'm not getting the output, you should be getting the output. Fine. So okay. Ping 10.0.0.2. I'm trying to ping 10.0.0.2. See here, the reply is from 200. The reply is from 200.1.1.2 and not from 10.0.0.2. So to give a very practical explanation, someone from outside is trying to ping your server and you don't want the actual IP of your server to get exposed. So what you do, you give some other IP address like this. So you have this IP address which is here, which is going to respond. In case if you are able to do this, you can do this for any number of servers or any number of IPs which you have to respond to. Fine. So try this, and in case if you have any doubts, you can ping us in the Skype group. Hope you are able to understand this, and we'll meet tomorrow then. Fine. Thanks a lot. Thank you.